Guatemala is a land of contrasts. Gorgeous, black sand ocean beaches. 14,000-foot volcanoes constantly oozing lava. Breathtaking landscapes, often marred by heaps of garbage. Markets overflowing with plenty, vegetables and fruits of every description. Yet many of the children in the villages suffer from malnutrition because of inadequate diets, consisting primarily of corn. The people of Guatemala reflect the contrasts of their country. Many are well educated, have white and blue-collar jobs, and live well. However, the largest segment of Guatemalans remain poor, uneducated beyond the 6th grade, and work in the fields for day labor pay, usually less than $3 per day. These people live in villages far from the more wealthy cities and towns. Here, homes are made of tin, cardboard, corn stalks, and maybe concrete block. According to a recent government report, most of the people in these villages, especially the children, are malnourished. Many lack a basic education. In 1996, a nurse who worked at a Shriners Children's Hospital for 14 years, Judy Kirshner, came to Guatemala as part of a medical team. It was during that trip that the Lord revealed to her that working in Guatemala was the Lord's will for her life.
I didn't know before that when God prepares a person to be a missionary, He puts a love in their heart for where He's going to send them. Here I was, in this strange Mayan village. Everywhere I looked could have been a picture on the pages of a National Geographic magazine. It had to be the Lord that I felt so comfortable, such peace at being there.
Working in the Mayan village of Santa Maria de Jesus, high on the side of a dormant volcano, Judy discovered a group of children with very special needs.
These children were like the children I worked with at Shriners. They had physical problems such as spina bifida, muscular dystrophy, and cerebral palsy. God had put the love and the knowledge on how to care for these children in my heart years ago.
The ministry started with seeing the need for mobility equipment, wheelchairs, and walkers, and meeting that need for children in Santa Maria. But Judy realized there were even larger and more eternal needs that had to be met.
In their society, they had no worth. These shy, beautiful children needed to see themselves in God's eyes, to know He loved them, and had a purpose for their lives. They needed to know Jesus Christ personally.
What the Lord revealed was a world unknown even to most Guatemalans living in the village, a world of disgrace, fear, shame, rejection, depression, and harassment. A world where special needs children were hidden in back rooms, never allowed out of the home, where neighbors might see them and accuse the family of being cursed, cutting the family off from the rest of the village.
When Blanky, a bright little girl with spina bifida, was 6 years old, she wanted to go to school, but she was denied. That was when I learned that there was no school available for those with different abilities.
In January 2000, Judy founded Nueva Vida con Educación, New Life with Education. The school began in one room of a home with a Guatemalan teacher and 8 students. 3 of those students had spina bifida. The others, muscular dystrophy, autism, Down syndrome, mental retardation, and dwarfism.
The first day of school, an angry mother came in with her little girl. She said that her daughter didn't speak. Not Spanish, not cachiquel, nothing. She doesn't do anything around the home. She's worthless to us, her mother said. We weren't prepared for a problem like this, but we knew that God had sent little Christina to us. After a while at school, Christina began to say a few words, but very softly. She did speak, both Spanish and cachiquel, but she was retarded. Because of her speech impediment, she had been made fun of at home, so she stopped talking. She still didn't talk at home for 3 years. Or to us when we saw her in the streets. She only spoke at school. It was as though she lived in 2 worlds. Today, Christina is a happy, talkative teenager who is always looking for ways to help others, at home and at school. Her family has learned to respect and love her for who she is.
Today, New Life has prospered and grown beyond anyone's wildest dream.
In the old building, we had over 50 people a day and about 1,600 square feet. We needed to expand, but where? The extent of my dream was to have a building large enough to hold us. God's plan was so much bigger than my dreams.
Today, there is a 3-story building with classrooms for more than 100 special needs students in grades from pre-kinder through 6th grade, and more come each year. In 2007, an elevator, the only elevator in a Mayan village, was donated and installed by the owner and engineers of Schumacher Elevator Company in Denver, Iowa. The elevator provides access to every floor of the school for all students. There are now 2 kindergartens and 3 first-grade classes due to the students' varied abilities and special needs. These include attention deficit disorder, dyslexia, seizures, and learning disabilities. Because of their special needs, New Life students attend classes of not more than 10 students per teacher. Some classes have as few as 4 students. These children would not succeed in the public school system, where there are as many as 50 children to 1 teacher. And most graduates from New Life are continuing their studies. Therapy is provided by a trained and licensed occupational therapist who volunteers her time at New Life. Families, once disgraced by having a special needs child, now take pride as their children leave home to go to their school. Entire families regularly take part in special school programs, such as dramas, holiday celebrations, competitions, and graduations. The school is always adding new programs to meet the needs of the children. There is now a nutrition program, so no child starts the day hungry. Nueva Vida con Educación has become a centerpiece for the village of Santa Maria de Jesus, an example of what can be accomplished when one person is obedient to the prompting of the Lord.
If God had shown me His plan before I came to Guatemala, I would have said, "You have the wrong person. I can't do that." Only God would have chosen a nurse from Texas to accomplish the miracle that you see here. I've learned to accept God's plan for my life, that the responsibility for this school is His. I just do what He puts in front of me daily. What God begins, He will provide for and accomplish. Nothing is impossible for God.
What was once a dark and forbidding life for children has become a life of hope, joy, grace, and love. We pray that the Lord is prompting you to join our team as New Life continues to grow, as it follows the Lord's call to feed my sheep. New Life depends entirely on financial support to keep the school operating and growing. Your donations, large or small, regular donations, child sponsorships, or one-time gifts are always welcomed and carefully stewarded. New Life needs your prayers for teachers, for administrative staff, for ongoing financial support, and for each of the students and their families. And that the government of Guatemala will begin to provide these much-needed services for the thousands of children we're not able to help. Yes, Guatemala is a land of contrasts. Special needs children, once shunned and ignored in the village of Santa Maria, are today filled with hope, joy, and the love of Jesus. The landscape in Guatemala is gradually getting even more beautiful, one child at a time.